referenced it.
Holy shit, OBS hasn't crashed yet. Okay, does anyone else want to introduce this, or should I do it again?
I'll do it.
Okay, I'll count you in. Everybody on the thing?
Hey guys, it's Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz. At it again with another Weiss Schwarz video.
Yeah, we could let Wibbs do it.
Let's just do that. Well, you're recording, right? Let's
Yeah,
just do that.
that's fine. Yeah, it's good enough. Yeah, it's fine.
No, don't use me.
It's too late.
Yeah, it's too late now. Alright.
Means the video started. So, yeah, Magia Record anime set review. This is the second part. We just did the mobile game version. We don't have a release date for this in English yet, but it is announced. It is coming.
Soon.
And apparently there's a lot of really good cards in it. So I'm excited to right into it. And today we're joined by Niko from Burn One. And if you couldn't already tell from his very energetic introduction, we have Ryan Triple Cancel Wibberly. Say hello, don't be shy.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Random people I don't know call me that, and it makes me really uncomfortable.
Really? Like, just like people like online that you don't know, they go, whoa.
Dude, I'm like talking in the kids Discord about Weiss or something, and they're like, "Thanks, Triple Cancel Wibberly," and I'm like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Oh god, that's so bad. Yeah, it's bad.
Man.
Kind of amazing.
You're internet famous, dude. You're Discord famous.
I don't want that.
Just you'll be the 20XX guy.
Big on Discord.
All right.
Let's
get
review
into
some
the
cards.
cards.
This
All
one's actually from the trial deck. We kind of skipped the trial deck this time because it's mostly underwhelming.
It's a trial deck.
Yeah,
But,
anybody watches the TD video anyway?
Yeah, we never get any views on the TV video.
We have all the boys together tonight, so we're just knocking it out while we can. But this card's worth mentioning still. It is a vanilla clean cut. Clean cuts are very good cards. A lot of sets don't have them, but the sets that do have them usually run them a whole bunch. Niko and Ryan, you guys have a lot of experience with the set. Oh! Okay. I thought you guys are going to score this card way higher. Do they not run this card?
So I think you can. This is a card is like an okay-ish one of if you really want to run it. It's just it makes it's worth mentioning because the clean cut is locked away to the TD. So if you're going to buy the TD for anything, you're probably buying it for this card here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of similar to how you can see a lot of other like ReZero lists, for example, run one of clean cut. If you're ever really going to be playing it, it's going to be playing it from like a Ricky tutor.
Yeah, you like Ricky for it to Tri-Field, basically.
Yep.
That's like, in English, I think that's most common from ReZero players. If you play in a local meta where there's a lot of ReZero, you've probably seen your ReZero player do that.
I think the big downside to this is the vanilla power at no level or anything like that kind of really hampers it because Madoka, at its current like meta-ish decks at level 0, doesn't run a lot of power pumps. So usually this card is only going to be 3k if you tutor it with the blue Ricky, which can sometimes, depending on like what you're playing into, can have difficulty finding reverses.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, doesn't it? You guys are saying like the 2 brainstorm is really important in the set. That was a big discussion point in the last video. This seems like it would have like naturally good synergy with that.
It does, but when it comes to stuff like that, right? That means you're Rickying for this card, so you've already had a turn because like ideally you're going to be paying out a stock to get this card from your deck, right? So you've already, like, let's say you went first, you've already had a turn, you're using your stock to grab a Ricky, where instead you could just be using it to grab your brainstorm. So you would like having the brainstorm in hand is more important. This is kind of like in our old discussion, this is what I would call more of like a win more card, where if you want to, this enables tri lanes where you can like slam down the Ricky. If you already have a brainstorm in hand, you slam it down in the front too, you attack, you clean cut your brainstorm back, and you're just like, damn, that was so cool. I'm such a good player.
Well, it's like
I feel
Madoka.
like
Go ahead, Andy. Sorry.
okay, yeah. I was gonna say I feel like you would maybe use this instead of rickying for this, maybe just use this as your primary plussing 0. Like instead of running like the Yachio from the mobile
Okay.
game,
The thing is,
like the big
okay,
Yachio,
sorry.
maybe
if
you
you've
run this
seen-
one.
If you've seen a lot of the lists, you run a lot of 4-ofs of a lot of utility cards. So when it comes to like beaters, they need to be able to do something else. So like to give you an example, spoilers from our other video if you haven't seen it yet, we have the Futaba profile, which top checks and sits at 3500 level 1 cross turn. Which
Sorry, I
go ahead.
was doing some math here, and I don't like clean cuts anymore. But finish your point, and then I'll talk about some math.
No, go ahead, hit me with the math. I was mainly done just because like you're going to be wanting to run other cards in bigger numbers than this, because I don't think you ever
Okay.
find more than like 1 or 2 of this in a deck.
So if you play, okay, one of the primary arguments for a clean cut is that it enables you to try field going second turn 1, right? Does everyone agree with this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
Right.
because
no.
that's the problem. You can't do that because going
Is
second turn 1.
going
Yeah.
second turn 1. Can we like agree that's like the primary sales force or driving like sales factor for
Yeah.
clean cut
Yeah.
as a profile, and not talk
You
about
can't
like
do that with this one.
any other potential like clean cut plays that are like possibilities. Okay, so if we're going with that sales point, if you run 4 of this card, which is already bad to begin with, or the chance of opening it on a Mall 3, like not considering like the cards that fall into your clock because you're going second, is 64%. Okay, so you have to hit a 64% to get this card to enable that play. But the thing is, it's not just a 64%. Your opponent also has to open a card that you can actually clean cut with. Because this card is so small, your opponent has to essentially not open their 4 of plussing 0. Because if they open up plussing 0, it's probably going to be a runner or an oversized. If it's an oversized, you can't kill it because this card's small. If it's a runner, you can't kill it because it's going to run away. So, doing the math on that, 64%. God, I'm going to get fucking fact checked on this really quick. Oh my god. It's 64% to open a 4 of on a Mall 3. Okay? Not considering your clock. Not considering your clock whatsoever, because clock's completely random. So 64% times the chance of your opponent not opening their 4 of plussing 0, which would be 34%, ends up giving you 23.04% chance to get this play off.
Actually, then you hit times in the 50% chance you have to lose the coin flip and
For
go
what?
second.
To not even be
Irregardless,
going second,
irregardless of that. Let's just consider the fact that you're going second. Okay.
Yeah,
makes the
you're
numbers,
going
makes the numbers
second,
just
yeah.
look better. You're going second. So 63% times 34% ends up giving you 23.04%. So to get this card off, you're playing towards a 23% play. A turn 1 23% play. Would you really be playing 4 of a card to hit a 23% play?
Mhm.
Well, why would I do
Yeah,
that
we
when I could
can't-
play 4 drop searchers? Is that
I was
what
like,
we're
yeah,
leading
we haven't
into?
even seen the next card yet, which is
Yeah.
actually going to be.
I
Also
think
mean,
clean
like-
cut on its own 2500 vanilla is
You
fine.
can clean cut turn 2 also. I mean, usually you don't get knocked like right
Yeah,
to triple tri-field clean cut.
No, but that's what
turn.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Ideally, if you're
Yeah.
playing this, you're going to be like, because you're only really going to be finding one of it in your deck because you have other like kind of better cards you can run. So ideally, the only real time you're going to be playing this is if your second
Rickying.
turn of going first, if that makes sense. Because
Yeah.
you're going to get your stock, you're going to play down your Ricky, you're going to get this clean cut. You're also going to slam down the brainstorm. You're going to clean cut your brainstorm. You're going to feel really good. But even
I
then, a
hate
lot
that
of the
play.
time, you're typically no. Let me finish because I'm going to agree with you because a lot of the time you're typically going to be wanting to Ricky for like your level 1 combo anyway.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you don't
your
open your
brainstorm.
brainstorm, and your brainstorm is very important in this build.
Yeah, I wouldn't want a Ricky for a level 0. I'd want a
Well,
Ricky for my combo.
And that's what I was saying
hate
earlier.
Ricky into clean cut as a play in general. I can like accept the fact that it's a play that ReZero can do and it works sometimes, but I hate it. I think
It
that play
really
is
depends
so
on the deck.
fucking
Yeah.
miserable. I said this already. I think the way I look at Weiss is a game of progression. Things have to lead into one another. That play doesn't lead into anything besides hitting your opponent in the face and dealing damage.
Well,
And I don't like
yeah.
that.
That's not your primary plan though. That's just like, oh, I don't have any other level
Well,
0s, but we're going to be
the
at 0.
difference is
Then why are you dedicating deck slots to that? Then?
the difference in a deck
that's
like
that's-
ReZero
yeah, that's a good
is
point,
that
yeah.
ReZero is a deck that really crutches off getting like at least single or double back row. at least in English. So that play becomes a little better because you get value off of a card that you are going to have to slam into back row anyway. If you get a turn at 0. You only do that after going first with your fucking center runner or your felt runner or whatever. You get another turn and your opponent leaves you garbage, okay? You say, okay, yeah, instead of going for my Amelia like I normally would in 70% of games, I'll go to put my Brainstorm in back row because I need to do that anyway, and it would be cool if it attacked. But that's only because that deck crutches so hard on it. I think Madoka is a deck where you would rather, and I was trying to get into this earlier, but everybody was bringing up good points. Madoka is a deck where we talk about how it's just you're not supposed to expend cards in hand or whatever, and people throw down their brainstorms turn 0 when they're not brainstorming because it's going to be on the board, blah, blah, blah. But Madoka is a deck where every single turn that brainstorm's on the board, you get to surveil. So, you get a lot of extra value off that, too. So it's just, not a play that this deck wants to do. I think that's specific to a kind of deck like ReZero that really crutches very hard of having that brainstorm in back row. And they're going to puke it there anyway. So if they have, at least one or maybe 2 Amelias already, they'd rather just, Ricky grab clean cut and have that brainstorm attack because they're going to play it anyway. It's just sort of a play specific to that deck, I guess, and decks that crutch very hard off brainstorm in general that also have clean cut, which is very few decks.
ReZero's also clean cut's also huge. That card's
Yeah,
35.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. This is a vanilla clean cut, yeah.
Clean cuts that aren't 35 or higher require additional cards to boost them over the power threshold to reasonably kill cards at 0, unless you're trying to expect your opponent to just play.
Or later in the game if you're trying to snipe clean cuts,
and saying that you're gonna play additional cards to support this card to enable clean cut plays, one hampers deck
pretty bad
deck building, really hard. You're dedicating your deck to single, or you're dedicating deck slots to English is hard. You're dedicating deck slots to a single play, which I never agree with. I think that's horrible deck building. On top of the fact that you're dedicating these deck slots to a play, which is low percentage to begin with, because you have to draw these 2 cards within the time frame in which this play is available.
It's just not a great play for this deck at all, ever.
Hmm.
I'm not a fan of clean cuts, just in general. If your clean cut isn't also an oversize of some caliber, I just don't like it. I really just don't like this profile unless it also has power.
You mean vanilla clean cuts, right? Not clean cuts that swing at oversize or level 1.
Yeah. It's
okay.
Even 3K clean cuts, what's a 3K? There's no 3K clean cut in English, right?
No, from real life, but that's 3K level.
GGO is a 3K clean cut.
Yeah, yes they do. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, GGO. Even that profile, I actually don't even like it. That's not big enough to be able to beat over an average oversized beater. It's it's not doing its job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can totally see where you're coming from.
Okay. So how many comments are we gonna get about how I'm bad and how clean cuts are great? Clean cuts are broken.
Well, in English, clean cuts unga bunga push damage. So.
Damage isn't everything, though.
Oh, you're getting a little too spicy for this cast, Ryan.
I think a good compromise is sometimes this card can be a fine one-off to run if you want to open yourself up to that play. However, this should never be a play you're actively looking to do because this card is not a clean cut that has a great profile.
Dude, your trigger lineup isn't even good enough to make the argument of attack 3 times and maybe you hit a trigger.
It's been 14 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say we skipped the trial deck, so it wouldn't save time. We should upload this as trial
Just call it clean cut.
Clean cut. Clean cut.
The Madoka Magia Record trial deck. Thanks
Yeah,
for
just
watching,
this
guys.
video.
We're gonna milk this content for all it is. See you in the next video.
All right, next card. Brian.
You mean the first card?
First
Yeah,
card.
we really should split it into 2 videos. It's more content. That's hilarious.
Oh, you guys are scum. Trying
What
to
do you
milk
mean?
that ad money. Milking ad money.
We don't. What
We
do you
don't have
mean?
ads.
I
Ryan, it's your fault.
refuse.
You're the one who went on the fucking rant.
I refuse to monetize our channel because, like, we have anime shit on our channel. We're just like, whatever. Brian, read the card.
Okay, this is a Surna. If you have 2 or less cards in stock, it's 1500 power, sits at 3500. On play, pay 1, discard a card, search your deck for a magic character. It's a drop search. Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty
Good
good.
character in a good color, sits at good power. Yeah.
Ooh.
It's literally
pretty good.
the Megumin drop search we'll never get.
Didn't I say in like the slime review that like this exact profile is like the best level 0 beater in the game?
Probably.
Yeah, well,
I
this
think-
is really good.
I think
And-
so. Yeah, like this profile is just like the best possible oversize in the game because it's not just an oversize; it's also utility. So you're not just giving up 4 slots to a turn 1 plus.
Yeah,
card.
it's direct utility. It's a filter card,
Yeah,
and also your
Slime have
beater.
this exact card.
No,
I think it was no. I think it was with the Chloe bond.
the
'Cause I remember
Chloe.
talking
We
about
mentioned it. Yeah.
during slime, and I compared Chloe to Megumin, the drop search, and I think I
You
said
were like,
Megumin's,
it's a
the best hero in the
delayed.
game.
It's a delayed Megumin, right? Because like you get the thing, but then it also has memory.
Maybe.
It's like
Wow.
different. It's like different but similar. But this sits
Yeah,
big
yeah.
cross turn. This sits big cross turn. Like
Yeah,
This
Hell,
is-
even the pay 1 synergizes with 2 or less stock thing, too.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keeps itself at higher power. I like it.
this is like English's first exposure to this profile.
Welcome to the what I think is the best level 0 in the game right now.
Yeah, this is really fucking
praise
good.
be-
Really good.
Praise be our new overlords.
hmm
I don't think I can give it an S, though. Like, it's really,
No,
really,
no,
really
it's
good
not
level
an S,
0,
it's
but
just
it doesn't do
super
anything
solid.
crazy.
It's
Yeah,
not
it's
over
really-
centralizing.
It's really solid.
It's
Yeah.
just extremely solid. Any
not
deck would be
broken.
happy to have this card. So,
Cool.
all right, next card. All right, we got this Felicia. It's Climax combo. During your turn, if you have another magic character, this gains 3,000 power. Where do I remember this from? From the past video. When the battle opponent, this becomes reversed. If this choice is in your climax zone, choose 1 magic character in your waiting room, return it to your hand, and you may pay 1. If you do, top check the top card. If it's a magic character, add it to your hand.
Wait a second. Battle.
The salvage is free.
You get the effect for free, and then you can pay 1.
Yes.
flip.
This is
Good.
this was first printed as like a sort of effect on a Sal 10th card that was also a twin drive. But like now it's a fucking like it's a Marika, and then like you can also pay 1 to possibly add an additional card. God forbid you trigger a choice and then it's free. Right?
Yeah. So your salvage is like you get the salvage off the reverse, and then if you wanted to, you can pay 1 dig. The problem with pay 1 digging is sometimes, as Ryan likes to call it, there's a player skill check that I know I fail quite often.
Oh wait, the translation on here is actually wrong, by the way. So
Is it?
This is the
the-
translation I've been reading almost the entire time for this card and playing it like this.
Wait. Okay, maybe I'm reading it wrong, but it's worded horribly. If you whiff the top check, you have to put that card in the bin no matter what.
Yeah.
So if you flip a climax or if you flip an event, it goes to the bin.
Yeah, that's true.
So like you can't like
Search
Yeah.
for up to 1 magic
There is a-
character, put it
there
to
is
hand,
a-
the rest to waiting room. But that's good, though. That's good, right? Like, let's say you trigger a climax, you can reactively you pay
like-
1,
Yeah,
pay
you
it
can pay
out.
1 to potentially plus extra. But the problem with this card is it's not like the Union reveal, right? To where if you whiff, you just leave it there. Here, it's like, oh, did you just reveal a climax? Congratulations, that climax is now gone.
No, it's gone.
Oh,
yeah.
no. So you don't trigger it on your next attack, then. So it's not going to
Yeah, I guess
the
it depends on
turn-
your
You're gonna be
sequencing.
doing
Yeah.
the
What if it was your last
reveal
attack, though?
swings. Yeah.
well,
So-
well no, even if it's not your last sling, you just lost potential value.
I guess so, because if it's your last swing, you're triggering it, and you can pay it out like on a brainstorm next turn immediately.
Right.
If the climax is on the top card is the top card of your deck and it's not your last swing, then you're going to be triggering it anyways. And typically, climaxes that we play in this game at the current moment all have good triggers. They're all triggers that are beneficial to the game plan. It's like Madoka is like bag, choice, door, whatever you want to play. They're all good triggers that you want to pick. You want to like actually like resolve. So if you whiff and you hit the climax, you just lost value on top of the stock you lost for like no real reason.
Did someone other than me just say that bag's a good trigger?
Yeah, beg's actually a good trigger, by the way.
What do you mean
FYI.
bag? Ryan just said bag.
Ryan, triple cancel Wibberley. Everybody.
No bullying.
Beg. I'm
Beg.
Canadian, but we don't say. How do you say it? Beg.
Ryan, triple cancel bag Wibberley.
Beg.
Ryan
Bag.
Wibberley on the channel.
Bag.
Okay, fine. I'll eat.
Thank you for
Okay,
agreeing. Yeah,
so
that's
here in
really- that's
Pittsburgh-
really gratifying.
Wait a minute.
Here in Pittsburgh, we love bag trigger. We made a
You
whole
put this
video
bag-
about bag
Buggy.
trigger.
Okay.
That bag in the buggy.
Cold. What was the Connor term? Pool.
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 Cool.
All right,
Yeah.
there. Now you can't
Whatever.
make fun of my accent.
Whatever. It doesn't matter what we say. Connor will nitpick this video no matter what. So, all right.
Okay, sorry. Back to the combo. Yeah, if you pay 1 and whiff, then you neg more than like you probably should. But it's still a 8K honor versus salvage, which is perfectly fine, and it's not a choice. And choice is like one of the best triggers in the game.
Yeah,
That's a plus.
choice is crazy good. I don't think a lot of English players have a lot of experience to it.
Wait,
English
no,
only players.
there isn't a single set in English with choice, is there?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
There's
Wait,
one.
what's-
Bang Dream.
What's the, Bang Dream?
Volume 2.
Wait, that's in English?
Yeah, that has
Dream and
choice.
Volume 2 is in English. You have
Yeah.
the Coke combo.
Yeah, the Coke
Oh,
combo is
okay,
choice.
okay.
Yeah.
But like,
Okay,
I
yeah,
think
but
choice is
that,
most.
That card sucks.
Yeah, this card is good, and like I think choice really opens itself up more when you have the ability to run 8 of it. Which, like, spoiler alert, next card you can run 8 of it. Opens up a lot of options and like influences your deck building in a lot of ways. Which we'll talk about when we get with like counters and stuff. But yeah, choice is wild. Big fan. Agree with Ryan. Good card.
It being on reverse in English might be an issue though. Even though that it sits at 8K and 8K is fucking ridiculous. Like this is literally power creep in Weiss right here. This card is power creep.
It's just America with additional plus and more power. Same thing.
Well, I mean, being an 8K on reverse salvage combo is like way above the standard for an on reverse salvage combo from like past years of Weiss.
Yeah.
Like this is power creep. Even
And
Umi's power creep.
It's
Yeah,
not
not
even
only
like the English
combo,
AOT whatever, right? It's like Konosuba's going Obero, like without a doubt. Yeah.
Konosuba will start playing like a bounce back combo. AOT things. People hate that deck. And when we get Data Live is going to be sitting at 9K or 7.5 with 2K counters.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like playing an on reverse combo like has drawbacks and detriments, which like might cause issues in tournament.
Yeah.
Like that's like a negative to this card. But like in Japanese right now, this card's perfectly fine. Or I shouldn't say perfect. This card's like fine.
I was about to say Japanese.
fine
You can
in
have
Japanese.
trouble. You can have a lot of trouble finding reverses in Japanese currently because of JC and the amount of Obero combo running around. I.e. playing into Saikano. And like Kirito combo matching you at 8 is also pretty feels bad. You at least get your thing, but you know.
Yeah, I really like how the flavor of choosing choice combo here too, because it either looks like her horns or like her hammer, depending how you look at it. You know what I mean?
No. Next card.
Really rude. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up, dude.
Okay, Niko, next card.
Didn't
Go
even not.
Just read it.
For me,
Dios mío.
We've just spent a lot of time on that card. We've gone over like 3 cards. It's been like 24 minutes.
There's another hammer trigger on this. No, what are you talking about? This is a new video.
Oh my god. Niko, this is you.
so this is the technical difficulties. This is the 3/2 Iroha. When this comes into play from either your hand or via the effect of Iroha's Doppel, which is a card later on, you can heal. Climax combos with the choice on attack, pay 2, ditch 2. If you do that, you can declare either 2, 3, or 4 and deal X damage to your opponent, and this gets 4k power for the turn. X is the number that you declared.
Interesting.
Damage modulation, pretty good.
It's fine.
That's really solid. You get to choose the perfect number of burn.
Just choose.
It
That's-
always deals the exact damage that you need. It's
Yeah.
a healer. It's a healer as well, which is super premium. And it's on a choice trigger. Choice is fucking broken. We mentioned this earlier. This deck is like a stalling, healing loop deck, and choice trigger plays perfectly into that. So you can play like 2 to 3 of these, and you get your healing finisher on top of a trigger that plays into the deck perfectly. This card, like by itself, this card's like it's fine. It's like a B kind of card, but in the context of like Madoka as a deck and how it wants to be playing, this card's really good, and is like the ideal choice pun. It's like the ideal choice for your top end.
On attack also.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
it's-
can't do anything about it. Yeah.
Yeah, the combo's a little bit costly, but I think it's worth it for the.
Well, if you're a heal spammy deck, you only play a quote unquote finisher when you're actually like without a doubt killing your opponent that turn.
That's true too. Yeah.
What's the Iroha's Doppel do? Does it?
That's
It's
bad.
not- yeah,
It's really bad. You'll see. It's like actually unplayable.
Yeah, I forgot to put it on this.
I
Hard,
guess
but
we'll,
it's pretty bad.
We'll get there.
When I like looked at this, I was thinking it's like, oh, this is the Iroha finisher that like heals and always kills me.
Well, can someone tell me what it does? Every time I ask what a card does,
no.
you guys say it's shit and don't tell me.
No,
You
it's
will
a
see
combo
the card
card.
later down. Yeah, you will see the card later down the line.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
combo
it's a full
card.
set
You have to
this time. Okay.
play like additional cards to like do it. It's like you need all the context.
It eats up a lot of slots, which we can talk about when we get there. I will say the only real downside to this card, if you can call it that, once again, I'll bring up it's really hard to draw what you need in this deck. So you might, if you're ever considering, I guess it's more of like a happy accident. You're almost never going to be like death gripping the choice to kill your opponent.
Yeah, but this card's still just a healer. It's
Yeah,
like,
no.
you get
I'm
the
saying in
option.
regards to the finishing, it's more of a happy accident that you have the choice in hand. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you play this, it's a healer. It plays into stalling, healing, turtling game plan that Westerners hate and say is bad. Westerners, Eastern people over here hate and think it's bad because Unga Bunga, Migo phase.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, you guys don't like go for your climax combo every game.
No, you just heal and you wait.
hell are you
You
doing?
actually just heal.
You
And then
actually just heal.
do this
I-
when you're.
I say
fucking
this
lame.
all the time. It is lame, but what if I told you the strongest line of text that can be printed on a Weiss card is put the top card of your clock into your waiting room?
I'll just keep playing me.
No. Hold on. The strongest
burning you for one.
the strongest line of text that can be printed on a card is on play. Put a card in your clock into your memory. That's the strongest line of text.
Oh, that is pretty strong.
Yeah. Shoutouts to Umi. All right, next card. This is you, Wibbs.
No, cool. It's Felicia. It's our girl. She got the anime art.
You got the fang. Yeah.
The fang is highlighted. Her hair is a little nicer. Yeah. Okay, sorry. On play, it's a top check filter. It's a console. Do you guys know what console means? Was that in your jargon video?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, it's a top deck filter, and then when it's reversed, if you have 2 or less memory, you can send this card to memory for free.
Oh, it's just a draw ditch. What do you call it?
Console in Japanese, CIP flip top. If it's like extra character added to your hand, ditch your card is called console, because like the very first of its kind was a Milky Holmes card, where like a girl, I think it was like a girl was playing on a video game console or something like that.
Oh, interesting. That's good shorthand, though.
Yeah,
I usually say top check add, and that's a lot more syllables
Yeah, it
than
was
just
narrow.
console.
Narrow from the OG Milky Home set, vanilla like 2K.
Yeah, saying console is super easy.
On reverse, you send this to memory.
Your cards.
Spoiler alert, cards work off this, being in memory.
Spoiler alert! I'm all
Yeah.
about this card. I love going to memory. I love top check draw ditches, dude.
I thought you hated
Like,
going
What
to
if
memory.
I told you this card usually doesn't make it in most decks?
This card's
I'd say you're lying, Nico.
This
There's no
card
way.
is actually like horrendously
There's no way.
average.
No way. I don't believe it. For a second.
Okay, so you see the condition on the memory, 2 or less memory. So they I think they knew how stupid the free fresh loop was when they were making this set. So they purposely gimped all the memory cards to make it so that you can't stack memory on top of having a free fresh loop. So every single card that like interacts with memory will have that condition. Your free fresher, which also interacts with memory, also has this condition. So the fact that this card goes to memory is kind of irrelevant because you're going to be building that memory anyways with the free fresher.
Hold up, Buster. Just one moment. Isn't the one thing I do know about Magia Record is there's like some some memory dump effect or something, and it deals with like 2 or less or 2 or 3 or
If your
less
opponent
cards in
has
memory,
5
right?
or more memory, they can go down to 4 memory. Well, it's for both players, but you're typically not going to be hitting that.
No, it's 4 because you never hit 4 with this deck.
I mean, you can't hit more than 4.
We can see the card a couple cards down the line.
The UI is on play if both players perform the effect. If you have 5 or more memory, choose 4 cards in your memory and then put every single card in your memory besides those 4 into the waiting room.
But these should be dying early on and then going to memory. But then you have other stuff that can maybe go to memory later, right? Do they all
have 3 or 2 or fewer? They all have
every single card in this anime set has that condition for memory. Every single one. They actually like future proof this or future proof. They like retroactively nerfed this set because of the free fresh loop.
Well, that's fine. It's still good effect.
Actually, and I guess another side note here, we're going to be getting to this card way further down the line, but the free fresh that sends stuff to memory does not get power if it does not send stuff to memory, so it becomes a little more on the weaker side.
So you don't want to, because you want to free fresh as many times as possible, so...
You're going to be probably free freshing like 2 or 3 times a game to fill up your memory anyway, so it's like... Yeah, I think Ryan's current score here is like on the money. You can run this if you want to. I think there's better cards you can put in these slots, but it's fine.
Maybe if you're like running the Homura free fresh instead of the Iroha, this gets a little better.
There's almost like no real reason to run the Homura free fresh just because of the way.
Unless you want to run the, if you want to run the the Homura change or whatever that like has damage scribe on its front attack.
The free fresh doesn't change into that though.
The ultimate Madoka.
Yeah, the ultimate Madoka thing. I think I saw Christian play that in.
He still played the 2-1 Iroha free fresh.
He was playing this card as well, actually.
Yeah,
so the caveat to this card is that Madoka's ditch outs are kind of poor. Like it doesn't have like good costless ditch outs. So, like this card fills the role of being a good costless ditch out. That's like the upside to this card.
All right. Any other thoughts on the card?
It's okay. That's yeah.
Top check ad ditch.
Andy, you gave it a pretty high score. Any closing thoughts?
I really like draw ditch a lot, and I think you guys are just knocking it because everything says 2 or less in memory, but that doesn't make this card inherently bad. You know what I mean? Like. It still goes to memory for free, and you don't have to do anything. You can just play this card early, get your filter, crash it in, goes to memory. Never see it again.
Wouldn't you want to
It's
have the
all
option
pluses.
to see your filters later in the game anyways? Because like utility later on in the game is good.
Well,
Like,
you run 4 of this, and you can never get 4 in your memory. So
why would you play 4 of this card? Oh, no.
goes to memory
This is Andy's argument for every single one of these cards. You just play 4 of it.
Utility cards that also go to memory are kind of a double-edged sword. Memory is good, yes. Compression's good, quote unquote compression. I'm not having that argument. Compression's good, yes, but the fact
None of us want to have it either.
The fact that they go to memory means like as we all know, they're removed from the game forever. You're removing your utility from the game forever. So if you're trying to play this card just for utility, the memory is actually a drawback because you're removing your utility forever for the rest of the game.
That's what I always say about the filter cards. I talked about this in my Del Segno thing too. I talked about it when I talk about Saikano. I talk about it when I'm like arguing with people about memory. It's like you have to realize when all these cards that go to memory are like filter cards, like your main hand fixing cards. They banish themselves from the game. You have to be like really on point with like when you actually send these cards, because unless it's the cost of the effect, you know, you have the option to do so. So like, you don't have to send this to memory. If you run like 2 or 3 of this, you maybe don't send it to memory a lot of the time, especially if you're playing the free fresh, which I mean, like, you should.
Well, I don't know. Counterpoint.
Because you
like,
need that later. You need that hand fix later. It
like, let's be
hampers your
real
free
though.
fixing.
How much? You're not sending all these to memory on your first deck. It's not like, oh, I'm going to open up tri-field this. You know.
I mean, if you
If you
played
do- if-
multiple
if
of
you
them,
do,
you
that's
easily
probably good.
could.
If you do, that's a good play then. If you can tri-field this turn
It
one,
depends.
that's fantastic.
This is very different from like an
'Cause
on
then you
reverse
just get
drop search.
3 memory burst 3 memory like that. It's super good.
Right, but
You get them all early, you get a bunch of memory for free. If
you're
you
losing.
get them like equally spaced out throughout the game, then you still have them to get access to.
Right, but you're still like handicapping yourself on your utility because they're sending themselves to memory, which like
Yeah.
is a drawback. Like
The point is they remove themselves. It is a drawback.
It's a drawback or it's a plus. You could just be drawing your better cards then. Why do I want to be drawing a level 0 when I could be drawing like
Because you drew
a free
climaxes.
fresh or
'Cause
this, that, or the other thing?
This is a game where you clock draw 2 climaxes.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have other climax outs. You have that like reusable
What
one.
if you didn't? Because Ryan said that this set doesn't have climax outs.
this, yeah, oh my god. A lot of deck slots in Madoka are dedicated towards the free fresh. Like that's the core of the deck. That's what you're playing towards. Like you don't have a lot of room to work with when it comes to utility. It's like the utility, irregardless of the free fresh, is super premium. Makes
Maybe
sense.
if you don't want to
Yeah.
slant as heavy into the free fresh.
No,
You
it's
know what I
about
mean?
it's about the card removing itself, Andy. It's like it's premium in the fact that you don't want the card to remove itself because you want to be able to see it later. So this is more of a drawback than it is a benefit. Because you want to
Well,
be able to
it's
see
not-
it.
It's not that you want to be able to see it. It's that you want to have the option to see it if you need to.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because
It-
well,
it does.
especially
That's totally
Utility cards
yeah.
are situationally good cards. Situationally good cards. Those situations can come up at any point in the game. Regardless of how your game is going.
it's like
That's just like sort of the
yeah.
nature of Weiss, I guess. So like you want to have the ability or the option to be able to have your utility cards for when the situations arise where you would need them.
that's like
and the fact that-
Saikana's biggest weakness, right? Is that it banishes all its utility. Like
That's one of the issues with Saikano, yes.
Yeah,
Or one of the potential issues with Saikano.
I mean, you have more than just this as your utility card, though, right?
what?
And
Huh?
yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
No.
you can run more filtering cards, and like,
What filtering cards?
check it out. Like, if everything's sending to memory on 2 or fewer cards in memory, right? Then your memory is going to get filled up like kind of quickly. You're probably going to hit like that
Your
memory.
We already
point
looked at your
before
primary
you can-
filtering card. Your primary filtering card of Madoka is the Surano drop search. You don't have a lot of
Yeah, that's a
costless
good card,
filter.
too.
Yeah, well, that card doesn't go to memory, and you're already running 3 or 4 of it because it's a plussing 0. So, like, your
I only
filtering
play
is.
2. I only play 2.
But you play the Futaba, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it depends on what you're going into. But I've seen the Surano as high as 4, like, depending on the list. But that is like you said, that is a premium filtering card, and it does not go to memory because you need to be able to, like, say you like hit 4 on Brainstorm, 3 or 4 on Brainstorm, as you're like going through, and you need to like find another mill card, right, or like anything to get you through the deck so that you can free fresh. Like being able to grab a drop search or a filtering card is pretty important. And if all these cards remove themselves, you don't have access to them. So, like, memory in a way can be a drawback, is like the point of this discussion, I guess.
Yeah, ideally,
you gotta be
so in
careful what you
Madoka,
send.
whenever you send stuff to memory with your Iroha free fresh that we'll get to later, typically you're going to be sending cards. Like ideally, you're just going to be wanting to send Rickies, just because at that point in the game, that's actually more or less a dead. Like, it's just a shitter. You're never
Right.
playing it for its
Mhm.
effect after that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I think we got into it because, like, I think that's something that comes up every time people discuss memory, and it's like, oh, memory's a problem, memory sucks, memory's oppressive. It's like, memory does remove a lot of utility from your deck because memory is always like they're always unfiltered cards. So important to keep in mind.
Yeah, but like I'm not gonna concede the point that like I don't think it's a C tier card. I think it's an A tier card. Like I stand by that, but I like see where you guys are coming from too.
How is a top trick filter an A tier card? What does an A tier what does an A tier card mean to you?
What does an A tier card mean to me? That's a big question, Ryan. That's a big question.
All right, let me go make some hot cocoa. We'll be here all night.
Well, okay. No. Like it's a big question, but it's really important because like tiers and labels and distinctions are super arbitrary without explanation or without distinction. Did I use distinction twice in that sentence? Okay,
maybe
ranking a card is super arbitrary. Like yeah, you might say, oh, it's an A tier card, but like what an A tier card means to you, or what an A tier card to you is is completely different from what it means to me. Like what does an A tier card mean to you? Why are you calling this an A tier card?
I guess like how would I describe like tiers? Like I think like S is like broken, like oppressively good, or like it's just so goddamn good like you need it. I think A is just like I'd consider A cards to be great cards, right? Like
Okay.
S is like.
But what does that
duper,
mean? What does that mean? Like, what does it do for you?
Well, I'm just going through like my letters, dude.
We can stop here. Because like,
I'd say like S is broken, A is great, B is good, C is niche, D is kind of bad, and F is terrible. That's like when I'm grading cards, like my S to F scale. That is how I do it.
So how is a top check console filter a great card? What makes that profile great?
I think it's inherently a strong profile. I think the console filters are like good effects. I really enjoy playing with them. What makes going to memory for free is like, and going to memory for free makes it so like I can easily just run like 3-4 copies of it, like not feel bad about it.
What makes console strong?
The filtering power. But it goes to memory, then you can't filter with it. But you have multiple copies of it, and they're not all going to memory.
What about the filtering power? What about it exactly? Why is filtering into the top card of your deck, which is completely it's almost always going to be completely random, irregardless of like having top check scries and like Madoka does. Why is filtering into that random card on the top of your deck a great effect?
I'd probably say
in a game, I should also like preference this as like in a game which has like freedom of selectivity and freedom of sculpting like Weiss does. Like if you're looking at this from like the Magic perspective, then yeah, that's a great effect because Magic doesn't have a lot of tools like that. Like tutoring is fucking broken in Magic. Because like, yeah, the words are hard.
It's fine,
Weiss, tutoring is the standard. Tutoring isn't premium. It's literally the standard of every single deck. Every single deck has tutoring power. Every single deck in Weiss, as long as it's like built good or it's like not fucking ancient, has tutoring and has filtering options. And most of the time, those filtering options will be better in some way than the random card on the top of your deck. Like the Suruno Drop Search is a tutor for any card you want, while also being a ditch out in this situation. If you want a specific ditch out for climaxes, then why don't you play a Ditch CX Salvage, which is also a tutor from the bin, which fills the role of removing that climax from your hand. So why
Ryan,
why is the random top card of your deck premium to you?
I've
in this game.
I've made this exact same argument in multiple set reviews many times, and it never sticks. So if you do this,
no, you've never made that exact argument.
I have many times. You just ignore me because I'm local to you.
No, you take a very condescending tone.
I do because I think this should be pretty obvious.
Ryan explained it in a really good way, I think.
Well, Ryan's very strong. He's stronger than me. So
I guess to answer your question, Ryan, it's probably partially the reason I value like draw ditch effects so much is probably partially coming from a Magic background where those type of effects are very rare.
Yeah,
and
that stuff is premium in Magic. I know.
Yeah, like you can't just tutor anything for free in Magic. Like you kind of have to play more off the cuff, kind of use what you have at that moment. And I guess that's kind of how I approach Weiss. It's not about finding the perfect card. It's about like using what I have at the moment, the best solution. But I think draw discard has a lot of like good things about it too. Like it's a costless way to get climaxes out of your hand if you're going into a refresh. I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably biased towards them because a lot of sets I play tend to have really good scrying capabilities, top checking, rearranging abilities. So in sets where you have good scrying and good top checking abilities, then these type of effects are inherently better because it's not blind then.
So
Or not blind as often. And a lot of the sets I do play that have these top checks.
Well, it's how many blind cards. How many blind cards makes it actually better. What's the math on that is the like question, right?
It's not it's partially how many blind cards, but it's like, okay, I looked at the top card, I don't want it, I can just save this for next turn and use it. Like I can save it and use it later. Also, a lot of the
Which
sets
requires
I play
you
with
to
the console,
expend a card that scries.
So
a lot of decks I play with the console effect, they hit off event cards too.
in the
So
context
it's like one of the only ways to draw them.
in the context of specifically Madoka, if your core game, or if like the idea you're going for is you want to get climaxes out of your hand, why is this better than the Madoka from the Moboge set? That removes a climax and it is a bin tutor, which gives you quote unquote the exact card that you want, compared to this, which is a random card.
You don't have to pay stock. You don't have to pay stock for this. That's one.
The other one's also not.
The Madoka is just on play discard a climax. It doesn't cost a stock.
Oh, discard a climax. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the startup spammable one. The on play free one.
That's better suited to just dumping a climax. But this can dump anything. Like if you're clogged on anything, if you have too many of like event card that's not useful at the moment, or like a higher level character you can't play right away.
The card on the top of your deck is completely random. It has an equal and even chance of also being a dead card. So like the argument of like, like I can play this and try to filter out a dead card on my hand for something playable, like doesn't really stick with me because cards in your deck are random if you've shuffled properly. Like that's the point of shuffling.
Yeah.
Every single card has an equal and even chance to be any card in your deck. So like the top check isn't this sort of effect isn't going to guarantee that like you're getting you're fixing that problem.
It doesn't
like,
guarantee, but it gives you a chance. It gives you a shot to re-roll it. So like
yeah, you're rolling the dice for a chance to dig yourself out of a hole.
Let's say I'm clogged on level 3s, right? You know, I run way more level 0s and level 1s than I do 2s and 3s. So
right, but
being able to draw the ratio.
The ratios don't really matter because again it's random. Like the top card of your deck can literally be anything. Even if there's only one level 3 in your deck, for example. Like this is a super arbitrary point, but even if there's one level 3 in your deck, that top check filter has an even chance, or that top check filter can just easily flip over that level 3 because it's completely random. Like there's no guarantee that it's actually going to do the filter drop for you.
I don't need a guarantee for it though. I feel good playing it. I also like using these console effects in combination with brainstorms too. So like if you hit it, it's a 5. If you hit the top check, right, draw a discard, and then it's basically a 5-card brainstorm. You know, if you top check and it's a climax, you say, okay, it informs my next play. I can like go for a guaranteed hit on my brainstorm.
Okay,
why
so
does
Andy,
that
you
matter?
Have to understand whenever you're saying this in context to Madoka, you have better options. So for example, when you're saying like you can enable brainstorms, tell me why you would run 4 of this instead of 4 of the Kaoru. The one that lets you top check the card on play, leave it on top or put it to the bottom, and then sends itself to stock. Why would you play this over that card?
What the
Kaoru
opened up a can of worms. My God.
you have to manually sacrifice that.
This comes up.
Send it to
What do you
memory.
mean? It's free.
Well, you have to sacrifice it.
Yeah, and it gives you
send
a
it to
stock.
though.
You have to minus to do that. When this
It
card
gives you a
is already
stock.
getting killed in battle, it inherently like you can attack with this, it dies and then goes to memory. The Kaoru can't attack with it, have it get killed, and then go to memory. You have to choose either send it to memory or attack. You can do both. And yes,
Ryan,
like I
don't-
understand, like in context of the whole like brainstorm loop thing. You know, I understand the context of that.
I wouldn't, Ryan. Don't feel bad about opening up a can of worms because this is a like discussion point we've had on multiple videos. Like, I guess it really is sort of a like perspective thing of like what games you come from and what games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this whole conversation is Magic background and like valuing effects in the context in the eyes of Magic compared to the eyes of Weiss, and that's like what I'm trying to argue for. Like
Where
in the
it's
context
like,
of Weiss,
yeah.
like this effect isn't premium, whereas like, in Magic, yeah, sure, something like this is premium, but we're playing Weiss. Weiss is like a game where your hand is free flow, and you should be playing towards always having this is worded horribly. Like you have tools in this
I know
game
what
to
you're
make
getting.
sure you always
Playing till you get through the perfect hand.
the best
Lots of
hand.
consistency tools.
I'm not gonna say perfect. You always have like the best hand that you can possibly make in the current situation because Weiss is a game of consistency and a game of utility. So like poor man's utility, which is premium in one game, isn't premium in another game.
Can I maybe you're misunderstanding my score a little bit too. I wouldn't give a vanilla console effect like an A. I would, I'm giving it the A because it also goes to memory on reverse. If it was just like the first like draw discard effect, and then like I don't know, like maybe just had more power. Let's say it was like 2500 console on play, right?
Then we
I'd
like
probably
circle back.
I'd give that card like a C or something.
But then we circle back to like the argument of like the point of utility in a deck and like the fact that memory is removing the utility for potential stages later in the game.
Andy, I think you're coming from a position of playing into memory a lot versus playing with memory a lot. Playing with memory is very different from playing into memory. Whereas when you're playing into memory a lot of the time, you see cards that say they go to memory. God forbid they go to memory for free. And you say, oh, that's just a straight plus. It goes to memory. Playing with cards that go to memory, especially in the context of a specific deck or a specific set, is very different. Because that card is removing itself from the game. You no longer have access to that utility. That's what like we're trying to get at right now. It's
I understand that completely.
Yeah, it's like it's very different. I think a lot of people when they see, and I just wanted to address that because I think a lot of people in this sort of like post-Psychono quote unquote world where people see cards that go to memory and they go, "Oh my God, memory broken, memory." Like they don't like consider that part of it where it's like actually a bit of a drawback. Where like
can I make a
you're removing filter. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
The counterpoint to that is that. So no, I haven't played Magia Record. I don't know a ton about the set like you guys do, but I'm kind of just grading the card, just in a vacuum. I feel like the memory locking you off of plays, like because you're sending all your utility to memory, then how do you like filter and whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you're only really going to start getting hit hard by that if you're playing something like Seikano that's sending everything to memory. Every filtering card goes to memory. This is just one of your filtering cards. You still have, like, even just like in this video so far, like the drop searcher, right? Like that's a 3 or 4 of, or 2 of, or however many. You still have those as filtering options. Those don't go to memory.
So then, like, what's the point of the filtering option if it has this caveat that it's only going to be useful at some points in the game and it's eventually going to potentially cause like drawback or like
it seems like a fantastic card early or late in the game. This Felicia, early in the game, it swings for damage, and then when it inevitably dies, it goes to a zone where it generates future value for me in the form of compression. Later in the game, if they're still in my deck, they're valuable filtering tools. And even if I'm sending my Felicias to memory, that doesn't mean I have no filtering cards in my deck. I have other filtering cards. And since this card is out of my deck, it also
So you're saying like
I'm compressed closer to it.
dedicating
Wait, so-
deck
so
slots to this.
Once
so
this
what-
card is gone, I'll use my other filtering cards.
So
And that's
what's-
assuming I even get 3 of these in my memory.
What's the point of this card then? What's the point of dedicating deck slots to this card when like when like you're making this argument? I'm not trying to be mean about this. I'm trying to have like a civil discussion, but I can't word this any better. Like, what's the point of playing this card if this is your argument?
Well,
I think that's what we're all trying to get to.
I think there's more to this card than just having filtering, right? Like, I consider this a valuable opening play, too. Because it's going to get run over on the way back, but at least it's going to go to my memory. I'm not playing this card just to filter. I'm playing this card as, like, I want to open with this level 0. This is a level 0 that, like, I'm happy to open with and play early. And generate initial tempo with my early turns. I'm like, you know, I don't feel bad about, like, going for big swings early. Like, maybe dual fielding, tri-fielding with this card. Because it's like, it's going to get run over. I'm going to minus off it, but it's going to a zone where it's going to be valuable.
So then why not? Why are you playing this card in your deck when you could just be playing quote unquote like better cards that are doing more for like doing more for you or doing more for the deck's core game plan? Why this card specifically?
Well, I don't know. I mean, are you working off the assumption that I'm playing the Brainstorm Loop heal spam deck that you were talking about earlier?
No. Let's just talk about this theoretical deck where you're playing this card in. And this theoretical deck where you have other utility like options of utility or whatever this is. Why this card? Why specifically this card? What benefit do you get by putting this card in your deck?
I guess the thing I would value about this card in particular is that, you know, I would be happy to see it early. I'd be happy to see it late. Game. You know, early on, it's going to my memory completely for free and compressing me. Late in the game, it's still a valuable filter. It's something that, like,
is it a valuable filter? Oh god, we're looping back. This conversation is getting circular. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's getting it's been a bit circular.
Guys, I don't want to like be the rude guy here, but we've been talking about this card for a
20
good chunk of
minutes.
minutes, and we're only on card 5. We got 20 more cards to go, boys. So
were we literally just like making fun of Dean for this?
No, I mean
Boys.
the whole argument circles back to what do you find to be a valuable costless filter, and like depending on what you value or what's this or the other thing, like a top check filter may or may not be valuable to you in the deck that you're playing, depending on what your other cards are. But I guess it really, because like the memory thing, I think we discussed it to death. It's like both a liability and a benefit. Blah 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 blah, back and forth. But like, I think it really depends on like how valuable you think the top check filter is, and like, I think a couple of us are like just like, what's the point? We'd rather play a drop search. We'd rather play another filter. We'd rather play a CX stitch, like whatever. But if like depending on your deck, maybe the top check filter is fine. Like whatever. I think we can leave it at that. It depends on how much you value the top check, because like the other effect is both a benefit and a liability depending on how the card's used. So.
Yeah, like I enjoyed the discussion, Ryan.
Discussion's
I feel like
good.
Both of us are making good points. I feel like we're both being respectful about it. You know, I think it's a good discussion to have.
I think it really highlights like opinions coming from other card games and like what is valuable and what is not, depending on like the context of like not only the game but also the decks that you are specifically playing. Because like there are decks out there that generate a lot from like top of deck. But, like, you know, it's all contextual. Because, like, we do look at a lot of cards in a vacuum here. Like, this is Andy's first time seeing this card. Like, this is a lot of people's first time seeing this card. It's Brian's first time seeing it, too. Mm-hmm. So, like, you know.
I mean, I don't want to, like, sound like I'm not answering your question, Ryan, but, like, you say, like, why are you playing this card instead of, you know, something else? But it's like, I don't know what I'm comparing it to. Like, what are the other options? You know what I mean? Like, we might get to the end of this video, and I'll be like, Oh yeah, I would never play that Felicia over this card. But just working off what I see so far, I like this card.
Okay, let's move on. Let's just leave it at that.
All right. Next card.
Who gets to read this one?
Let's just.
It's me actually.
Yeah, let's just start over. Andy, take it.
Sweet. Iroha, right?
Yep.
So we're on. Sweet. It's a 1/0. You can rest this, choose one of your magic characters, give it 1500 power turn, and you can pay 1, put this to your waiting room, look at 4 cards from the top of your deck for a magic character, take it to your hand. So nice little back row, power pump card that you can pay 1, send to your pay 1 and turn it into something else later.
This
So
helps a lot with
you
the
can-
refresh loop.
You can brainstorm with this card, and then it sacks itself. It removes itself from the board while doing something else. I mentioned this earlier in like the other set review. You want to brainstorm a lot in this deck, and then like eventually you're gonna have to play over cards. So having cards that remove themselves while also doing something else is pretty beneficial. And that something else in this card is, oh my god, that something else. That something else is playing towards the core game plan of the deck. And that's really good.
It's also like you're only out if you whiff your second brainstorm or something catastrophic as like a consistency card.
It's like an out, a quote unquote out to like a lot of like weird deck situations. Like if you're in like a deck situation where like all the climaxes were in the top half, this gives you an out to like that. Gives you a way to mill out without a quote unquote negging on brainstorms. It can potentially give you an out to whiffing on like on whiffing your first brainstorm or whatever. Yeah. It's an out to problematic deck states for Madoka.
Yeah, really important card.
1500 is a lot of power too, so
It fits right in the game plan.
All right, next card. Brian.
All right. Yep. This is the 2K Leaf a Punch that we mentioned in the previous video.
Board encounter, statistics, math. This card's anti-damage if you cancel.
Literally anti-damage.
Seems pretty good. Digs you toward climax.
And you can start doing it at level 1.
Yeah, it's
it
a level
seems
1
better
counter.
seems better than the other one just because it's a level earlier. Seems worth losing 500
It
power.
has a soul trigger and you're running choice. That alone is worth considering.
Yep.
Yeah. Like for the most part, this is the counter of choice for the deck because of the soul trigger and choice synergy.
Yeah, it's really important that you're able to like grab this card if you need it based off choice.
Yeah. I mean, plus you're in a deck that just wants to drag the game out, cancel as often as possible, and digging into your deck is relevant.
Yep.
All right, next card.
Let's go.
All right, who is this again? Is this her sister?
Yeah, this is Iroha's
Yui.
sister, Ui.
Ui, okay. When this is played from hand to stage, all players perform the following action. If there are 5 or more cards in your memory, choose 4 cards in your memory, put all cards in your memory and other than those chosen into the waiting room. And then it's also an anti-change bomb. I think we talked about this previously in terms of memory dump cards that have relevant other effects, literally in any way, and then also coincidentally have that effect are very important to exist. If memory is going to continue to be a mechanic, card's good. You play one of it.
Memory is not a thing in English yet, though.
I was like, I
Not
think in
yet,
English,
yeah.
you're still probably going to play this just because bombs, I think, still are kind of like better in English than they are in JP.
As long as Love
Just
Live
'cause you're
Sunshine
still-
is a thing.
You're going to be
Yeah.
answering stuff particularly like, Slime's early play board, and if you're doing that, you can potentially answer their memory. You're going to be still dealing with like, big body rems and stuff. So this card will probably find a spot at 1 at most decks.
Maybe. It's a meta decision. It's like,
Yeah.
you
The
kinda
floor is
pick-
high enough on it, though. The floor is high enough where you don't feel bad about running it. Like a anti-change bomb is already like you already want to have some anti-change options, and then this has the memory dump on top of it.
Right.
Fun fact: the Ryan Wibberley has called me bad for playing this card before.
Yeah, card sucks. Who plays anti-change anymore? Anti-change is like the fucking 2018 mechanic.
Dude, we're gonna come full circle. Playing on curve is gonna be cool again.
Jesus. One day.
Who
I
knows,
mean,
brother?
it's an important effect to exist, right? Is like the
If
Yeah.
your meta needs it, it's an important card to have. If the meta doesn't need it, then it's a waste of deck slots. That's about it.
Yeah, the
I
memory
guess,
effect
but-
is nice. The bomb is
The bomb makes it playable in anything.
yeah, you can just splash it in, and then you have the memory effect stapled on just in case.
There's really not a lot of memory hate in the game at this point, so
I think in
The
English
fact
you
that
don't need
they're
to worry about the memory hate
introducing
outside of
slime.
like
Yeah, no-
slime, but even
right.
then, it's not like you're not destroying slime because they're only going to be hovering around like what 6, 7 memory. So it's like cool, you decompress them for 2, and a lot of the times you're like, cool, let me take these maxes out. I might be able to use them again later.
Yeah, I think the
Hmm.
first true memory deck we'll probably get is Adventure Time, based on reveals that we have so far. So, who knows? If that's important, maybe this card's important.
But it's like it's coming though. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna bury my head in the sand here and be like, oh, we're never getting, memory dump
No, definitely.
or
not,
like
yeah.
memory deck in English. No, it's coming.
Yeah, eventually. All right.
It's Niko.
Unique Niko.
All right, this is the Sna 2/2. All your characters in front of this gain 1500 power. When this is placed from hand to the stage, reveal the top card of your library. If it's level 1 or lower, put it into your stock. And then rest this. If there are 2 or few characters in your memory, choose a magic character in your waiting room and send it to memory. This card is pretty much unplayable.
Yeah, this is pretty garbage. There's no standby in the set, so
I was like, even when you were
Actual
playing
shit.
like the cheat card, with
you'd
the
never
old
choose
set,
this.
you
No.
would just honestly just run the Homura instead, just because you have greater returns. And even then, for the whole rest this send to memory, there's a 3/2 early play healer that has that same effect that you'd probably just play over this. So this card is almost like, I don't want to say power crept out of its own set, but like there's literally a better option in this exact same set.
So do we have actual standby? In this set?
No, none.
Madoka does
no.
not have
Oh,
access to
dang.
standby.
I was gonna
It
say
said
like if
that-
they had actual standby, I'd like it a lot more.
Well, yeah.
Because if you could actually stand by this out, that'd be great. But
Unfortunately,
Maybe
you
no.
have
next
to just
time.
hard play it. Next Madoka set, next mobile game, we'll get it.
Few
If
whips.
only.
Alright, it's the really cute Sna with her cute cat picture from when she was stuck in the void. During your turn, it's an 11k. On place from hand to stage is a check X. It's a check X for characters on board. And then, what's the timing on this again? When this card attacks, you may pay the cost, which is removing a specific sauna that we haven't covered yet from your memory and putting it in the bin. And then this card gains 1,000 power and 2 soul for the turn. And if you want context, the sauna that it removes is on play, give something minus 1,000 power, and then when it's reversed, if you have 2 or less memory, you can send it to memory.
And it's a front row character minus 1,000 power. It's
Yeah,
you can't
Sorry,
target
front
back row.
row only. Front row only.
Mhm.
Very mediocre. What's the point of playing? What's the point?
Card
What's the point?
card that it's
It can't
attached
rip,
to
that's
is
about it.
garbage,
Yeah,
but
top deck X, I guess.
it's
is
one
the-
of
But I
your
think
only
you also
options for
have-
top check X, right?
I think you actually have better objects for top check X. Actually, believe it
Do
or
you?
not. Yeah, there is a Yachio, I believe, later on that I would say almost has a better profile. than
Oh,
this.
that one. Okay.
Well, if you
Yeah.
do, then this card is not worth anything.
Yeah, this is really
Sad
bad.
that Sana didn't really get too many good cards this set.
You got the early play.
Yeah, that's about the only real premier card.
Isn't 1,000 power like a pretty sizable debuff apply for a
we're
level
not-
0?
We're not
It's a
talking
front
about
row
that.
though.
We're not talking about that card. We're not talking about this card. The memory
Yeah.
card. We're talking about this card specifically.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to get back to the card. Yeah. I mean, I guess the fact that the other card exists makes this more playable, and I definitely do like look at X take a card, especially if you were saying you don't have a ton of filtering options, but I don't know.
I think the problem with this is kind
the
of like
auto
a
effect
discussion
doesn't
we've
seem that
already
good for
had,
me.
to where you're kind of like running mediocre cards for kind of like
Yeah.
little payoff, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I just don't think the auto effect on this getting 2 soul and 1,000 power, that just doesn't seem worth like all the deck spots to me.
Yeah.
Yep. No payoff. Not worth it.
All right, moving on.
Yep.
Back to you, Andy.
Is this mommy?
It should
Yeah.
be-
Spoilers. Holy mommy. Why is she holy? Watch the anime and find out. Kappa.
Read the game story instead.
So you can play this card without color requirement. I think this is the first time that this effect has been printed in English. It's kind of cool. Doesn't really matter. On play, you can heal one. And then she has constant pay to ditch one. When she reverses her battle opponent, you may pay the cost. If you did, you can put the top card of their library into their clock.
It's eh.
It's
Oh.
fine. Yeah.
You can maybe, if you want to,
Ooh.
run this as like a one of, as an off like finisher type thing.
That's a cheeky
It
clock
heals.
kick effect.
Yeah, it heals, so
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah, you can throw it in. Any
It's a
Finisher.
solid okay.
Cheeky off finisher healer, but its power is really weak and it has to reverse things. There's no like standby, so you can't even like have cheeky interactions with it. If you play this, you're forced to play some other form of card to support it, just to like enable it.
I'd rather spend the stock on like a pay to ditch to attack from Iroha, to be quite honest, with the climax. Like there's just better things I think I would honestly actively want to be spending stock on than the.
If I-
Yeah, it's like for a spicy deck, it's an off finisher, but like
if I wanted a like an off CX healing finisher, I'd rather just play the Kyoko from Rebellion, which is a heal and on attack, pay 2, dish 1, burn 1. Like functionally,
that does exist. Yeah,
these are the exact functionally these are the exact same cards, but one is bigger and doesn't require a reverse, and this one requires a reverse. Like sure, you can like repeat this one, quote unquote, but this card's so fucking small. How are you killing things? What's the point?
It's got to go for their weak lane, I guess.
Yeah.
I like that you can play it without the color requirement. You could literally just splash this into any deck. Just like throw this as like a one of and as like an off finisher, healer, all around utility card for level 3.
Yeah, it's fine.
artifacts are dumb. Next card.
Okay, I
Alright.
think this.
I
is
guess
me?
artifacts have color now. Fuck me.
We've got an Iroha.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, at the beginning of your main phase, look at the top card of your deck. Put it either back on top or into the waiting room. And this is the rest to salvage brainstorm.
Yep, here it
I can't
is.
believe this is actually the strongest
Broken.
card in the set.
Yeah, it's an
5/5
S tier
brainstorm.
card. I've played into it enough times.
Dude, look
Card's
at how
so
cute
dumb.
she is.
You think it actually gets the bump up to S tier?
Yeah,
at
I
that
think it's
smile.
important enough. I think it's important enough for this set.
Dude, she's in pajamas and she has a smile of a princess you want to protect. This
Dude, the
It's
pajamas are hoodie.
The interplay
It's
between
hoodie.
this and
The hood.
what is it? What's this card's name? Kaoru? Like
Kaoru.
this and the Kaoru is like just fucking insane. Like, and it's also like I touched on this earlier when we were talking about the clean cut, right? Where it's like every turn this card is on the board, and it's a card that you want on the board anyway. It just generates you additional information, additional value. Like, we make fun of, like, it's just like, oh, all these players just, like, puke their whole hand on the board, turn 0, right? And it's like, oh, this is a card that's actually great to have sit on your board, turn 0.
Yeah, you puke this.
Yeah, you puke this every time it's in your hand in the early turns, even if you're not going to use it.
Dude, it's pretty gratifying to, like, I've been saying it for the past few, like, set reviews, like, these draw brainstorms, the trial decks that have these, like,
These scry
beginning and main phase
Yeah.
surveil effect. I'm like, those are, like, borderline playable. It's like, that's a really, really, really good repeatable effect. I'm all about that.
Yeah, but
And,
I think
like,
the fact that they
Now you
put
have,
it
like, a selective brainstorm. It's
yeah,
not
the
just a draw.
selectivity is a big thing.
I should clarify that this card would be like a B minus, like outside of Madoka, but the fact that this enables the stupid free fresh loop and has so much power in the context of Madoka makes this like an S tier card.
Yeah.
It's
No, I can
probably
agree.
definitely probably stronger because of like you can get additional value off of resting like a second character. Like resting a second character isn't as much of a drawback in Madoka because you have like a Kaoru, right?
Yeah.
That you can just like send a memory or like that other card
Send a stock.
earlier that pay 1, go to
Right.
waiting room, look at 4 cards.
You have stuff that, like, does something meaningful even when it's rested.
Kind of like they designed the set to have synergy with itself.
Mm,
I think that this card was a happy mistake. I'm gonna be completely honest.
yeah,
I really
I don't think they intended for this because they
I don't
hated Fate.
Yeah,
Like-
I don't think they intended it. I think it was a happy mistake, and then like sometime during QA when they were testing it, they were like, "Wait, this is really good," and then they put the Band-Aid on all the memory cards and made them 2 or less memory condition to like try to like not make it absurd.
Yeah, that sounds more feasible to me in terms of what actually happened. But yeah, card's hella important. It's weird that this card, that when you read it in a vacuum, this is the card that saves Madoka. It's just like very funny. But yeah, I think we talked about this enough when we were talking about Kaoru, so we can just move on. Who got this one?
It's you, Carmen, I think.
Oh damn, we got the Sereno. I love Sereno. Play from hand to stage. You may put a card from your hand into your clock. If so, look at the top X cards from the top of your library. Choose one card from among them. Put it in your hand. Put it the rest in the waiting room. X equals the number of your other Magic characters. And then when a card is sent to memory, choose one of your Magic characters, and it gets 1500 power. Huh.
Card is kind of okay. It's one of your only cantrippers early. The fact that it can dig you 4 cards is pretty neat, but you don't really need it if you're ever running this like as a one of.
I mentioned this in the slime profile. Or in the slime site review. Holy shit! With the same kind of profile, I hate this profile. The Kazuma check up to 4 or 3 cards to add any card. It like is anti-synergistic with the condition of needing cards on the board. You play those kind of cards because you don't have your climax and you're trying to like dig for your climax to have a combo that turn. But the thing is that the fact that you have to field cards before you do this effect means you have to commit to a specific game plan before you even have the knowledge of if that game plan is going to go off.
Yeah, I'm remembering this now.
An actual like Kazuma sort of effect. You play it first, and then you have the information to make the decision on like for the turn. Because like you will almost always be doing different things depending on if you have a climax or not. So the fact that you have to commit before you have the information on having a climax or not makes this card awful in my opinion.
Isn't the Kazuma like a plus too?
No.
K1.
Like
No,
not
it's
like
hand
a
filter.
plus, like TOO, isn't it? Like a +1.
No, it's a
No.
filter.
He's a pay one ditch one, look top 3, take any.
Oh, okay. But it doesn't clock yourself.
No.
Okay,
No.
I was gonna say like there's something that was different about this. Yeah, like I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely prefer the Cosmo profile
Yeah.
over this for sure.
I do too. Niko called it a cantripper, and I think that's a little bit
Yeah, it's
No.
probably being a little
not quite. You're not actually cantripping with this. You're filtering.
Yeah. You're
But,
you're digging for what you kind of want. But I think Wibbs also kind of explained as to why you don't. This is like worst case scenario type thing. You don't actively want to be playing this card down on the board.
No.
Yeah, I
Card
also
sucks.
think like probably what Wibbs mentioned earlier is probably true. Like they went back and slapped the Band-Aid on like halfway through development and didn't change this card because like the sent to memory effect seems kind of awkward on this when they cap your memory.
Yeah, you like can't really like.
Well, actually, it says card, so like it works with Sayaka's Wish too. That goes to memory, right?
It's about the only
Yes.
thing that works late game.
Sayaka's Wish and Jean memory that go over cap that are played, or like the baking event from the MOBA Gay set.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was just I didn't read it as like events going to memory too, but yeah,
Yeah, it's just card. So
it's interesting. Yeah, very interesting card.
all right, moving on. Here you go.
All right, so we have this other Tsuruno. It's a 1/0. During your turn, all your magic characters gain 500 power and hand encore. Note that this is only during your turn. Rest this from stand. Awkward way to word the effect. When your
Thanks,
other
Luke.
magic character attacks, you may pay the cost. If so, that character gains 2k power and the following ability for the turn. At the end of this card's attack, reverse this.
What?
Why?
This is
Wait, no,
so
there's
fucking
actually-
awkward.
There's actually synergy with the second effect in this set, by the way.
Was it? I think you were explaining it to me. Doesn't this synergize with one of the top ends you can potentially play?
It synergizes with Alina because Alina burns when characters are sent to the bin. And this will guarantee a card is sent to the bin. And then you can like create a loop with the Encore. Or no, sorry. You can't. This isn't how you loop it with Encore. But like it forces a card to go to the bin, and then another card checks cards going to the bin to burn. So like there's synergy. There's some slight synergy there.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see that combo. It sounds really cool, but
This card
Wait,
sounds like it
I don't
sucks.
think- I don't think Alina's worded like that because I think Alina's up to once per turn.
Yeah. Wait, no, she's not because you can technically infinite loop Alina. Let me just quickly double check Alina.
Okay, I thought from the way I read it, it was once per turn.
Oh wait, yeah, sorry. Wait, this is once per turn, but like it guarantees that Alina actually goes off on the turn that you combo.
Yeah.
So like there is some synergy there.
it's like some on death combo. It's kind of it has negative synergy with the rest 2 Brainstormer they're trying to push on you though. Because like
Hand
you
Encore
have to
on
rest this from standing.
Hand Encore on your turn only is literally unplayable. By the way.
Yeah, that I might give it. This is an F.
Well, I think the hand encore thing's to get around the potential drawback of reversing.
No,
it.
you know what? This card has text. It's like a D-.
Like you see what I mean though, like you can use it for your finisher combo that needs you to sack something, but then you also have it for like you can just pump 2,000 power and then not lose your character.
I wouldn't really call.
Fact.
Listen, dude, I am like Alina #1 fanboy. I wouldn't really call Alina super playable or a good finisher if we're gonna go with that.
Oh, that card? That card's unplayable. I remember.
By
that
the
card.
way, if you guys have SR Alinas, hit me up. Your boys.
you've been looking for that shit since release and you can't find it.
It's only $10. The card's practically unplayable. Why is it sold out everywhere?
Guess it must be a
Niko's
popular character.
I guess.
All right, next, Ryan.
Oh hey, it's your girl, the main character Iroha. So this is like the first combo piece with the Iroha's Doppel that works with the Iroha finisher combo. This card's really bad. Oh my god, wait, the translation's also wrong. All your trade characters, whatever.
Yeah.
All your magic characters gain 500 power. When damage taken by you isn't cancelled and this card has 2 or less markers, choose a level 2 or higher character in your waiting room and marker it under this card. And then at the start of your main phase, if you are level 2 or higher, and there are at least 3 markers under this card, you can sack it and remove all the markers to play Iroha's Doppel from the waiting room.
Okay, so you play this like when you hit level 1, then when you like eat enough hits to knock you up to level 2, you have enough markers, you can sack this, change into your early play.
Yes, that's the idea. I guess we can talk about this more when the Doppel comes up, but the Doppel is quite literally unplayable, and you're forced to run this card because the Doppel doesn't work unless it's spawned through this card.
Oh, it just doesn't work at all.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it
rough.
has to be played from this card specifically to like
Oh.
do that it does.
Doesn't the isn't the one finisher work off the Doppel too?
The Doppel changes into the finisher, and then the finisher will also heal if it changes. Which is
Notably, the last effect is not a May effect. You must perform it.
you also have to sack and change, which kind of sucks because the actual effect on the Doppel is like a situational type of effect.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is like the first F I've seen so far.
If you are level 2 or higher, 3 or more markers on it, you don't have to sacrifice this card. Or wait, no,
Put all
you play
markers.
over it.
Put this on the slot. It does not say May.
Oh wait,
at any
all
point.
markers from under this.
Yeah, this is unplayable, Andy. I'm sorry. There's no reaching that can convince me here. This is really bad. Like, in and of itself, without even looking at what this Doppel does. The fact that it's forced.
All markers from this
I
go to the
think
waiting room. You choose the
Giving this
Doppel and
an
you
F is a
overplay
little
this.
too much, but I think we're arguing.
The second
you give this
effect
an
is
F or
also
D
isn't
minus.
conditional.
Yeah.
Can you fail a choose effect?
I guess if you don't have the doppel, it doesn't die. Yeah.
Can you fail a choose effect? Can this sit with 2 markers for entirety?
Okay, hold on. Let me try to parse the wording really quick. Parse the wording.
Yeah, if you can fail,
It's not choose up to. So if you have a valid target, you have to pick the valid.
yeah,
target.
then it's still an F. The fact that you can't.
Let me cross reference the wording really quick with something. Give me one sec. Keep talking.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to decipher it. If there's 2 or fewer markers under this, choose a level 2 or higher character. It only markers level 2 characters.
Yeah,
But
but
you
if you
have
meet
higher,
it,
yeah.
if you meet it, you must.
You must, yeah.
Yeah,
And
the
it's
fact
starting
that
your
you
remaining
can't.
phase, if you're level 2 or higher, there are 3 or more markers.
I
under
would give this a
remove all
D.
markers.
I would give this a D minus if I was able to keep 2 cards under it forever. But the fact
You
that I
can't.
can't makes it an F.
Well,
You could just marker the doppels or just not run the doppels if you so wanted to. But then you're
No,
eating
you
up the
have to
clock.
put.
You have to get rid of
No,
the markers.
you have to sack all the markers. You
have to get
can't
rid of
even
the
fail.
markers, yeah.
You can't even fail. You can only fail after the fact.
You don't have to kill the Era Hub, but you have to get rid of the markers.
Yeah, cross-reference the wording on the card as well. Like, if you have a valid target, you have to pick it. You can technically not have a valid target, but you still have to do the effect.
Yeah, the fact that you can't, it like just makes it like fucking garbage. I can't even keep this as like a 2-card compression for the rest of the game. Dumb. Bad.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know.
cards are pretty
I can't score it without like knowing what the doppel does. So I guess we'll have to wait till we get to that.
Alright,
Yeah,
we're almost there.
Yeah, 2 cards down.
Alright, who's this?
Is this me again?
It's back to you, yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead.
All right, got another mommy. At the start of your 2-1, at the start of your climax phase, in your front row, choose one of your characters, and it either gets plus or minus a level for the turn. Another level modulation effect, I guess, kind of working off of the Mobage set. At the start of your attack phase, choose a character in your front row, and if all characters in your front row have the same level as that character, this mommy gets 1,000 power and a soul. And on attack, if you're fighting a level 3 or higher character, this gets 6,000 power. So if you hit the power and soul effect, this is a 2-1, 12-5, 13-5, 2 souls. 13-5, 2 soul. Hit over their early play, hit for 2 soul. It seems pretty good.
Yeah,
Connect is
alright.
pretty awkward at that level, especially if you're playing a level 2. Makes this kind of bad. I don't think I'd play this.
You have a 2-1 green promo that can just attack at 13-5 for 1 soul. So I feel like it's one of those. I think you're kind of jumping through a little too many hoops to try to be like, yeah, it's a 2-soul beater.
Well, I guess it depends on what brainstormer you're playing too, right? Like if this seems like it more complements the cards from the Mobage set. And if you're running like that brainstormer, which gives you level modulation,
I guess it's more of a support
the
card for
Hallmark
that
gives you-
than it is
Yeah.
for...
like
I
because the
agree.
level modulation effects can fire multiple times, right? So if you have like the brainstormer and this, you can start like augmenting a lot of your levels,
Right.
and the plus ones and minus ones will like help you get any board there.
Alright, we can move on. Let's just go to the doppel. Brian.
All right. Here we are.
Oh,
Iroha's
boy.
Doppel. 9,500 level 3. During your turn, gets 2,000 power, sits at 11.5. During the turn that this is placed, played via the effect of the Iroha we just looked at. At the start of your climax step, choose one of your opponent's characters, put it in waiting room. At the start of your draw step, put this in the waiting room and choose one of the level 3 Iroha combo that we talked about a little bit ago. And put it in this card slot.
The Iroha it is the level 3 Iroha.
The choice combo, yeah.
Oh, this is garbage. I'd never play this card.
It has to come out through the 1/1, by the way.
It has to
Yeah.
come out through the 1/1, and it has to live cross turn at 9/5 power.
Well, you can encore it.
And
You can
sure,
encore it.
yeah, I can pay 3. Yeah, cool.
I mean, it doesn't have to, right? You can hard play it at level 3, and then it'll kill itself the next turn and turn into the finisher. Which
Yeah, but
is
if you
not-
hard play it at level 3, you don't get that first effect of
Yeah, you don't get the
sniping a
first effect.
character.
No, you don't get to kill anything. No.
Yeah, it's
You-
garbage.
You're hard playing a 3-2, 11-5 on your turn.
It is
9-5 on
unplayable.
defense. Yeah.
I never said it was good.
This is
Yeah.
one of the
And
this is one of the least playable cards I've ever read.
I don't like it.
I don't think it's that bad at all.
It's really bad.
You can play it off the well, you could use the what is it, like the shield combo from the last set, the Mobage one. That like the fake standby. If you do that combo, get it off at level 2, you could like throw this level 3 on your field and then change it next turn, like in a
Yeah,
pinch.
wait, how are you getting a reverse with a 6k at level 2 again?
I mean, you just find their weak lane, hit it.
Is there weak lane? Is that a
wait,
reasonable
wait,
deck building
wait,
decision?
Wait. You can literally do that at level 1 with Madoka, with the ultimate
Home
Madoka. No, the ultimate Madoka.
Yeah, that's better.
change
Oh,
from
yeah,
step 1, which is a 2/1 level support that changes into a 3/2 healer. You can literally do that already without having to be at level 1.
Yeah, even the 2/2 changing into the clock killer or clock kicker is 10 times better.
I mean, I guess it's kind of like a plan B, though. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
plan A is get your 1/1.
there's no plan B. I'm sorry,
Change
Andy.
into this, then change into the other
This
thing.
sucks. I'm sorry. I don't want to argue about this. This is garbage. There's no amount of reaching that can convince me. This is an absolutely
I don't
unplayable
think it's
card.
reaching. It seems fine. Hold up.
The ability doesn't work. The card doesn't work without being summoned from the 1/1.
Yeah, but that's fine.
How is that fine?
I
During
don't
it's
think that's
placed on
fine.
the stage of Iroha searching.
Did
for
you
little
forget
sisters,
about the
like-
1/1? The 1/1 requires you to take damage 3 times to get this
Yeah,
card
you
summoned.
play it when you play the Iroha right when you hit level 1.
Sure.
Then when you hit level 2, you've taken damage 3
Or
times.
2 after 3 times. Okay, 2. You mean level 3? Because that's
Okay.
what's going to happen most games. You think you're getting a level 2 when you're playing this combo? There's no way. If you're dedicating cards to this combo, there's no way you're getting a level 2. Absolutely no way. You're going straight to level 3.
I
'Cause
mean,
you-
is it even that much of a deck building restriction though? Like you have to run like
Yes.
how many of like
Yes.
how many of the Irohas and how many of these to like make it worth it?
2 and then 3. At
And I guess you need a
minimum.
lot of other like level 2s.
Probably
also, like,
3 and 3.
have the marker ability, but you could just run a lot of like the 2/1 backups.
3 and 3 minimum.
All right. Well, I think it's solid. I think it has like some potential. You guys are making it sound like the end of the world, but it seems like
No,
solid
not
if you
not
can get it off.
them. Me specifically. I'm
The
making it sound like the
investment,
other
in
world.
my eyes, is not worth the payoff because
Yeah.
you're investing multiple deck slots running this. Like it's one of those like where I like if somebody pulled this off against me or I saw somebody running it, I'm thinking good meme. You know, I'm not thinking wow, I really have to be scared of this. I'm like thinking like wow, cool. Like you did it. You killed one of my cards and then you turned into a 10k healer. Congratulations.
This doesn't heal.
No, I'm saying the card it turns into is the 10k.
Oh, the
And then,
finisher.
like, yeah, if I can't answer it, you healed
The
afterwards.
finisher
Sometimes,
does
like,
heal, sure.
if you could get it off, it seems pretty powerful though. I don't think it's like out of the realm of possibility to get off, but you definitely have to build around it.
Not out of the realm of
You don't need
possibility
to
to
like
get
you don't need to
off.
like argue about it. I think it'd be a fun thing to build with, but
It's like the difference is like, is it worth actually building this when you can literally just run the 3/2 combo alone and do nothing but play it from hand and it be stronger? And the answer is no, every single time. There's no reason to play the rest of it. Just play the card empty.
I mean, it lets you cheat it into play early without standby. If you can get it off. And you get like indiscriminate hard removal.
Why would
which
you want to
is-
do that combo early? It's a healer.
Huh? What do you mean?
It's just like completely adverse to your game plan of extending your level 2, healing down, extending the game as long as possible, then only playing your finisher when you actually have to go for it, when you're forced to go for game.
I guess it's kind of like think of like Sword Art with Last Shot, where you can like change into it and do it at level 2, and then do it again at level 3.
Oh, I would never run that card. That card's garbage. I would just play Scene on Empty. I think that card's also a piece of shit. Even in standby decks, like that's just my opinion on that sort of like playstyle. I think that's just like absolutely like building for the wrong things. You just build your deck to execute a strategy that's worth playing instead of building it to do this like random thing and a like random like low percent chance. But like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I'd have fun brewing with it, but it's obviously.
Yeah,
not
I mean,
top
sure,
tier.
I would also have fun brewing with it, but it's like it's also a waste of time. It would be a fun thing to brew up for like a meme, but it, like Niko said, but it's a waste of time. Just play the
It's got
finisher.
a little bit of potential, a little bit.
What's the? Never mind. Let's just move on. I just want to finish yellow. I want to go to bed. Who has this?
This is you, Carmen.
Fuck. This is your During your turn, all your level 0 vanillas gain 2,000 power and cuisine trait. What the fuck? Why isn't this a Surno? Never mind. Place your hand.
It's flavor. It's flavor because she baits Felicia into helping her by offering her to cook her food.
Oh, she cooks for her in this instance. Okay, I'm thinking like Surno cooks. Okay. And then place from hand to stage. You can ditch a card. You do search for the specific card. So it bonds from deck, and then gives this vanilla power. Wow, this is brow deck tier. F.
I like the pouty face, and that's the
Yeah,
only
the
thing I like
art.
about this card.
The art on both cards is pretty pog, but everything else is garbage.
Yeah, it's rough. We,
So
we love things that go with
Felicia's are
vanilla.
what? They're 5k on your turn, like the level 0.
5k level 0 on your turn, yes.
Only on your turn, yeah.
Only on your turn. It is vanilla power on defense.
And then it deck bonds to it.
Yuck.
Oh,
What you
even,
got for us,
even
Ryan?
Andy gave it an F. Even Andy gave it an F. Oh my god.
What? Hey, there's no potential here, man.
Okay, go to the sauna. Go to the sauna.
Okay, alright.
That's pretty good, Ryan. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so the sauna. When your card is sent to memory, choose one of your magic characters, and that character gains 2k power for the turn. It's kind of like what we mentioned earlier. Sounded like they scrapped the whole uncapped memory thing. And then a climax combos with a 2-soul. When your opponent levels up, and the 2 souls in your climax zone, look it up to 4, add a magic, put the rest in waiting room. It's a 2-soul combo on a level 0.
So how does this get sent to memory?
Not this.
When your card.
Wait,
no,
when
it's
your
talking about
card is
any
sent to
card,
memory.
yeah.
Okay.
This is a back row card. Maybe. Who knows?
I don't.
I like that she's like violently hugging her like weird AI
Oh, no.
waifu.
No.
Yo,
That's not a hug. That's not a hug. Look, you see how she's crying?
Oh wait, I remember now. Yeah, she's
Do
being
you remember
stabbed.
the story of Old Yeller?
Yeah, she's getting old yellered, like, but it's with a knife. Knife. This is stab. Goodbye. Next card.
It's more mommy. It's your girl.
It is my girl.
Put this card on the clock. When this becomes reversed, if you pay the cost, if you do the top card, if it's a magic character, add it to your hand. It's a costless top trick console, draw Ricky, whatever. It's fucking garbage.
Damn. This card gets me to the next level. F plus. Card's bad.
This is a set with 2 search Rickies. Like,
Yeah, there's literally no reason. I can't even meme. This card's garbage.
Yeah,
You don't gotta pay for it, at least.
Sure.
I guess.
I mean, I wouldn't play a draw Ricky on play. So I wouldn't play this either.
I don't think I'd clock myself for a non-selective plus.
All right. Vanilla, no one waste their time. It's cute art, but next.
Yeah, we got this. I don't know who this is, but she's
Cyrano.
delivering the yummy food to people.
Cyrano.
Suverno. 2 or more other magic characters, 2,000 power, so 6k. Sits at 6k. On attack, if you have climax, You may have this card get minus a soul for the turn. If you do, choose a magic character in your waiting room. If so, choose a magic character in your waiting room for the turn. I'm assuming it's supposed to be like a salvage.
Salvage. That's Heart of the Cards did an oopsie.
Yeah,
nice,
thank you,
nice
Lou.
translation.
So on attack, you can optional get minus a soul if you do salvage, or do you have to get a reverse?
Yeah, that's it.
On attack. It's just on attack.
On attack. But you have to take the -1.
The -1 soul.
So I know a lot of initial lists were playing this card, and this card can kind of like look fine initially. I'm not a fan of this because on your opponent's first deck is when you really are trying to like kind of push damage and to kind of like get them to that like next level, right?
Right.
So if you're attacking into a clogged board, you're swinging for 1/1/1 with a climax. And while you're definitely recouping hand, and while it can certainly not be too bad, because Madoka likes to stall at level 2 anyway for like as long as it can. Wind Trigger's not like super awesome right now, and just swinging like low numbers on first deck isn't super great.
So
The fact that it sits nice and thick at like 6k though is pretty good.
Yeah.
it has good synergy with Wind Trigger too. So like, pop their card back to their hand, then you get a direct attack. So you can like make up for the -1 soul.
I don't like taking that into account too much though,
Because it's
because
only 4.
no, it's only 4, but you're already playing 1 if you're doing that. So then it goes down to like 3 and how many cards? Like you're talking like,
At maximum.
single digit percentages, which I don't think you should be trying to really aim for. Like it's a cool consolation, but it's not that great.
It's the only proper quote unquote advantage combo that doesn't require a reverse in this set. So if
Yep.
you're in a where you literally can't get reverses for whatever reason, like Fago, Overlord, Dal, and AOT are everywhere, and you're crying because you're a poor man playing poor man's Madoka, then like this is a potential option if you don't want to play a stock dredge combo. Or this is like the only option if you don't want to play the stock dredge combo.
Of note,
Yeah.
this is a comment. This is probably going to be really cheap, and
You
like
could-
it's still serviceable. So
Yeah, like you could just like take backups with this, right? Like take 2k backups and then like defend it and then
Yeah.
combo again next turn, and now
Yeah.
you're getting direct attacks and
So-
not overswinging.
Yeah, so it's at 6k cross turn, so that's definitely a play you could do.
If you can get back into the wind again. But
Yeah, right.
I mean, sure. I mean, the fact that you can just like throw it down and it's a 106k, like in a budget deck, it's more than enough, I think, for a climax combo.
It also like retains its value later in the game too, right? So like if you win board with like a beefy early play and a backup, you can like climax combo, throw this in the open lane, get the -soul,
Mm-hmm.
get a plus, get the
Okay.
climax out of your hand.
Yeah, that's true.
All right,
It's solid.
next card.
All right, we have this Sauna. Level 1, 4500 when she attacks. If you have 2 or more other magic trait characters, gets 2000 power, goes up to 6500 for the turn. When the battle opponent of your other character becomes reversed, you can put the top card of your deck into the waiting room. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Just mill one. Get closer to that free fresh.
Blindly.
I don't know what they were thinking when they made this card, to be quite honest.
Yeah, this is
This is like shitty Toka.
yeah, I don't even know what's going on here with this card. Why?
The battle opponent of your other character becomes reversed. Like, I mean, maybe you're playing the all yellow deck and you like look at the top 2.
No. This is bad Toka. This is like Toka back row from Dow. But you can't scry. You just blindly mill it.
Just mill.
It's like
Look.
a weird backup card though. Like you wouldn't want to sit this in your back row. It's like
Right?
But-
I mean, the effects have completely...
we need
when
someone
this-
else to work with
To
it.
be fair, I wouldn't want to really sit this on my board.
Yeah.
When the spoilers were happening, this was the only source of free mill, quote unquote. So PogChamp, free mill, hooray.
God.
Yeah, that is massive struggle, Ryan. I can't believe that you guys had to even think about that. Madoka must be really suffering.
Fucking love Madoka. Sell me SPs, by the way. I will buy Madoka SPs if you own any.
All right, next card. Okay, so we got this 1-0 Felicia. It's 5k. Put a Felicia raring to go, which is that level 0 top check filter that we talked way too long about, from your memory into the waiting room. When this attacks, you may do that, and if you do, you gain 1,000 power and 2 soul for the turn. So your payoff for playing this card is you get a 3 soul 6k costless card.
Bunga bunga. Vampy.
For one turn. For one turn.
That's pretty spicy.
Damage.
Bunga bunga. We're playing Shadowverse now. You play aggro blood. You ignore your opponent's board and you hit face.
Wow, that resonates with me because I logged into Shadowverse and got the free aggro blood deck, and it was pretty fun.
If we're talking like real applications, this can like let you recycle the card, but I mean, like the payoff for me personally is not there.
It's a 1/0 3 soul.
Why doesn't it do anything else? Like, why does it just gain power and soul? Why does
That's a lot of soul to gain. You can start like side attacking like certain boards. Like I don't know. You
It does give you options. It's a little weird though.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm gonna shatter like the doing the soul thing, right? Because this set has a twin drive on a cost bomb. If I wanted to push soul and do side attacks, I would be playing the twin drive. Like 100% of the time, I wouldn't be playing this card because this is like more cards than one card. I could play one card that has. I could play one card that has 2 uses that like also fulfills that use. That wouldn't also require me to play this other card that also has to be in memory to do this.
I mean, the other one goes to memory for. I mean, we talked to death about that card earlier. Like,
yeah. I'm not even talking about the memory condition. I'm talking about
if you're playing
if I want to push soul. Well, no, I'm saying if I wanted to push soul, and that was a thing I wanted to do in my deck, I would play that one card, which is a twin driver. That was also a cost bomb that has other utility across the board, and I would not even consider either of these if I wanted this effect to be able to side for additional damage.
Oh, like I mean, I don't know. You can't like if you're twin driving, you don't know what you're twin driving into, probably.
Yeah, but that's twin drive is far better than this, which requires me to remove memory to gain soul, and is only a 6k, already losing a lane. 6k is not winning a lane.
I don't know how I'm thinking of it. It's like I'm already running like, a number of copies of the level 0 Felicia, right? Like the more copies of that you run, like I'd be enticed to like throw this in my deck as a one-of, just to like have the option to like go for a big free swing. If you're running a bunch of the other Felicia anyway.
Mm.
I think this card helps push damage.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it lets you recycle your utility if you want it, and that way you can push more damage.
Look. Here's the play with the card, okay? Okay? You play it, you remove the memory, you slam the Sauna 2 soul, and then you trigger a 2 soul, and then you instantly level them up and get your plus off of Sauna.
That's broken. Dual color level 1.
That's the ultimate combo.
All right, let's just do this last one. I want to go to bed. Niko, you can read this event.
Okay, so it's 2/1 Smug Felicia Face. If you have 2 or fewer magic characters, you cannot play this from your hand. Search your library for up to 1 character whose level is equal to or lower than your level. Put it in any slot on the stage. Shuffle your library, and at the end of the turn, it dies. Yep. So you're paying 2/1 to place a character that's the same level as you that dies. So you don't get any come into play effects or anything like that from hand. So
Wait, it has
I don't actually.
synergy
You
with-
can't summon early plays because they only get
Yeah,
the
it has
condition in
synergy
hand.
with Alina. Yeah, it has synergy with Alina, dude. Very cool.
No. It actually has synergy with the 2/2 Momoko. Because the Momoko is just whenever it's played, so like you get the stock charge off of it. Come on,
Oh,
think of the value. You get a free 2/2 beater that for 0 stock,
yeah, that 2/2 beater's a one soul, by the way.
and then you get hand encore
That
it. and
2/2
then you get
beater's
a-
a one soul, dude.
Why does it
hand
have
encore it, you hand encore it, and then you get another stock because she gets stock charge even when she comes in from the bin. Fucking Pog Champ. Pog Champ.
No,
Not
wait,
even
Momoko-
Felicia's face can save
hold
this
on,
card.
That's spicy.
No.
This is an F for
only gets the
Felicia.
stock charge effect from waiting room, so this doesn't even get that effect.
Wait, is it only from
It's
waiting?
only from waiting room, dude.
When this is placed. Oh, wait.
So when you
It is in
encore it, it's ditch a card that stock charge. So this is
Oh,
basically
right.
ditch
It
2
is
stock
It
1.
is waiting room. Okay, never mind. This card's like actually completely unplayable. My bad. I thought it was just when she was played onto stage from anywhere. My bad.
Yeah, this card sucks.
Why doesn't the character like go to memory at the end of attack? You know what,
What
I
do
mean?
you
Like,
mean? Memory sucks.
like Ramirez, you know?
We
Memory
hate
is not
memory.
compression.
What
Memory
if
isn't compression.
What if it was supposed to originally go to memory, and then they Band-Aid fixed it?
It probably was supposed to
That's
go to memory.
possible, yeah.
You'd have a 2/1 Ramrus event.
What if
From
that-
deck?
That's
Wait,
still
that'd
not
be-
even that. No,
Wait,
that's still
okay,
not
no,
even that
wait.
good.
2/1 Ramrus from deck? I don't want to think about this. It's too late. 2/1 Ramrus from deck. You pay 1. You summon the card. It's a pay 1 plus, and then it's not a pay 1 plus because it's not a thing. So pay 1, go even, and the card goes to memory. But you also removed a card from deck, so it's compression plus 1. This event doesn't go to memory though. Compression neutral. Am I wrong? Is that right?
No. We're talking hypothetical. Like, what if the character?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
What if
memory
the
instead of
character
waiting
went to
room?
memory? So I'm saying, if the character went to memory and this event went to waiting room, you would pay 1. This event would go to waiting room. You would summon a character from your deck. Then it would go to memory. So you'd pay 1. That's a card into grave. You'd put this into grave. That's
Yeah.
an additional 2 into the waiting room. And then 1 card would go to memory. So
it's neg 1 on compression.
Neg
but you
1
get that
compression.
Immediate +1 compression on current deck.
Yeah.
yeah, you +1 compression on current deck, but -1 overall. Until you refresh. When you refresh, it's just flat 1. Well, no, it's flat even because you removed stock. Okay, whatever. This is done. Any other thoughts on yellow?
Yellow's actually a good color now.
Yeah.
It's not like generally a good color. It just has a few good. It has enough good standout cards, combined with like the Mobuge standout cards to make yellow worth playing.
Yeah, it seems
Choice is good.
Because
all-
our choice is a good trigger.
like most of the yellow cards are actually pretty bad. It's just like the few good cards are just really good.
And
There's a
they have
few good,
soul triggers. Most of those cards have soul triggers, right? So like
There's a few good yellow cards in the original Madoka set too. I think there's like a level 0 Mami as Akatsuki, right?
No.
Or
No.
yellow, isn't there? I thought there was
There
like
is a
some,
level
like,
0
level
mommy drop search that's 2k that Surano directly power creeps.
That is a card that exists, yeah.
it has magic tax.
Wait, are you talking about the yellow Rize from the Mobage set, right?
The one we
I
just
thought there was
talked about?
I thought there was something from like the original Madoka
Mm.
set that was like mommy related.
There
was,
is
like,
a combo in Madoka Magica Rebellion with a yellow stock soul that the mommy has, which is on attack, pay 1, gain 2k, and it's like on reverse look at 4? Or is it just on attack?
No,
look
it's
at
on
4?
it's Maguro. It's a
Yeah,
Maguro.
On attack, pay 1, look for, I'm pretty sure.
I think that's the only like mill effect that you get.
Okay, what? Let's look at old Madoka cards. That doesn't do anything. Like I swear the only like relevant card from set, or the only relevant cards from set 1 are like The Hanafu's Record and Ultimate Madoka and Sayaka's Wish.
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe there's something that we overlooked. You know what I mean? Like I could have swore I remember like seeing a solid yellow level 0 from the original set or Rebellion. I don't remember.
I think you're thinking of the Rize from the Movage set, right? The check 2 rearrange and on reverse check 3 add a yellow.
I mean, I don't know. Because I was brewing yellow at like one point a couple years ago for Madoka.
All right, I can't make Iroha's face on the slide any bigger. Can we just be done?
Yeah, sure.
All right, good night.